years of people using cannabis, I think, is ingrained in our 10,000-year-old DNA.
Right.
In my opinion, that's why when you say it's like it's fascinating, it is fascinating. I felt the same way, bro. It's mind blowing, and your passion. Look at where it turned out. I mean, some of this hash we've seen is insane, bro. I have yet to see hash like this in a long time. I mean, we've seen hash all over the world, and
Damn, that means so much to me, man. Because I know you guys see a lot of hash. You guys work with a lot of amazing producers and stuff, and there's a lot of people making a lot of fire too. So that means a lot to me that you guys would enjoy it. And
OGKB, bro.
The thing is, too, bro, is
what's up, everybody? Sitting here watching
my name
some
is Nate,
of
owner of Grover.
I didn't want to change it. I was watching First Smoke of the Day. Tricadelics is on here.
Fire.
for sure. I mean, that's what I do. That's why the heavy fog. Like, I was like, oh, I want to bring something special out for the First Smoke guys. I was like, the heavy fog. I literally saved 2 jars of that in the freezer, and the other one is going to stay there for a while because also, too, you never know. Like, for me, I'm like, it's a backup. If you ever, like, lose the genetic, like, obviously it's not like the actual genetic itself, but you at least have the profile so you can come back and be like, this is that heavy fog batch that I fell in love with that is so amazing. You can come and smell it and be like, this is what I should be expecting out of, out of when I'm hunting for the new phenotype of it, At least that's like kind of what I tell myself with keeping it in the freezer like that, And some of them too, like we have.
I usually actually hand roll my joints, but I got hooked up with this tuxedo pack from Stale Backwoods on Instagram. Homie sent me a birthday package and it had some cool stuff in it. So I'm trying to use up some of those papers. Ooh, shaping up. I don't know, just felt like smoking a J right now. Usually a bone guy, but fuck it. See what these fools have
lost
to say.
Certain phenos and stuff like that too, we talked about the animal cookies a little bit. I used to have the animal cookies. I have 1 jar of animal cookies melt still in my freezer, but I no longer have that cut, And I know that one's kind of accessible.
Yeah,
not super accessible, but I miss that one a lot.
That's a great. Well, so what is hash? What's the proper way to store hash?
The proper way to store hash, depending on like what you're storing and like how what you're trying to achieve with it. If you're going for a long-term storage, I would say like, for instance, this heavy fog that's like 8 months old or whatever, I have it inside of the original jar. I really crank the lid on as tight as possible. And then I like to vac seal over that too. And then I'll put it inside of like a airtight Tupperware as well, just like keeping as much air out of it. It really doesn't cure that much in the freezer. Like, I think it does ever so slightly change over time, and
I don't know about you guys, but I've never had fucking hash that long, man. I lied, I guess. I've got some food grade hash out there. I haven't pressed into anything. It's just hash. It's not rosin. It's been there for a little while.
That's another thing to take in consideration is like every freezer is mad different. I'm jumping around a little bit, but like that's super important when it comes to storing your fresh frozen. Like, make sure your freezer is actually really cold. I have like 10 freezers at my fucking spot, and they are all different temperatures, some of which are above 0 degrees and some of which are well below 0 degrees too. So it's like, for me, I want to keep my fresh frozen super brittle and hard and like not, I don't want it to thaw out. I don't want it to get soft at all to where the heads can start sticking onto each other. So I want to put it in a super cold freezer, you know?
So plant material sub-zero, as cold as you can get.
Yeah.
And then a normal freezer somewhat, but double layers of air kind of almost like air trap, where you take that and you've vacuum sealed it, then you're putting another barrier, then another barrier. Then...
Which I don't know if I'm just being over the top,
No,
which is sometimes what I do. But yeah, like I just want to, keep as much air out of there and keep it in its original state as possible, you know? And then too, like if you're trying to like maybe more like smoke on it, like actively, for instance, maybe you're like smoking the heavy fog, but you want to like keep it in a good state, but you're not going to long-term store it, then like maybe just like pull it out in the morning, let it get to room temperature, you know, do your dabbing during the day, and at the end of the night, like just put it in the refrigerator, and that'll like kind of...
I'm just listening to these fools talk about hash. I have weed in my hand, and I'm like, fuck, I need some hash, dude. I got a bunch of hash to make out there. I just don't really have a space to do it right now, which is heartbreaking. And I got the time. I'm waiting for a wash vessel. Wash vessel should be here maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Gotta get some fucking hash, baby.
Slow down the cure. Or if you know it's a super hot day or anything like that, you know, make sure you put it in the fridge, you know?
But you said let it thaw. Why is that?
Well, because you can like get condensation from the outside of the jar on the inside of the jar, you know? You know, if you ever have like a cold glass of water and there's the moisture content on the outside of the jar, on the outside of the glass, like if you have a mason jar that has, you know, a bunch of moisture on the outside of it and you open it up and then you close it again, you've just trapped that moisture like inside of there. And then also too, like I think the actual temperature of the oil matters. Like you don't want to like jump. That sounds weird. You don't want to like jump the oil like into these extreme temperatures. You want to like gradually let it go from, you know, being in this freezing cold -10 degrees and let it slowly get up to room temp, you know, not just the outside of the jar, but the actual product on the inside getting to the actual room temperature.
There's something with that. Olive oil, the best olive oil in the world, they do that same thing with. They put it in a pan and they bring it up slowly to the exact heat they want. I was like seeing this thing and it's like, they talk about it preserves the terpenes in the olive oil.
I'm glad you bring up olive oil too, because like one of the products that I have, I feel like a salesman. I'm like, one of the products that I have, but no, one of the products that I have is like my fresh press, which I market as Evro extra virgin rosin oil, because like it comes from my love of olive oil too, because I just love the different fragrances. I put it on everything. Like my boy just gifted me this bottle, and like literally, you put it on your eggs, and it tastes like butter. And it's not, and it's amazing. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The similarities in like harvesting your olives and handling your olives to make it into olive oil is so similar to that of cannabis. Like they're harvesting at.
This is something I've never heard before. This is pretty cool. Here in Trichedelics and Blackleaf talk about olives and olive oil being similar to like hash and terpene preservation and hash. It's pretty cool.
Right, or like whenever their temperatures are cold, they're keeping their things cold with dry ice. Even, you know, even the wine industry does this as well. But they're trying to keep their fruits cold and intact to keep it preserved as much as it is on the plant, the way that it is on the plant, the true essence of it on the plant. They're trying to capture that in its purest form, and that's like what olive oil is all about. That's what I feel like fresh pressed rosin is like just that most ripest heads from that batch of first wash heads, and you're pressing it at a really low temperature. making sure in small amounts for me, so you're not like getting any nucleation or buttering, and you're gonna have like a really nice translucent product. And I don't know, I think it's super awesome too, because it allows the consumer to watch it kind of cure, and you can kind of learn a little bit more from it. It is a little bit harder to like work with. I feel like you have to be a little bit more knowledgeable, or like seasoned of like a smoker to like deal with it, because sometimes it's really sappy. It's like hard to get off your dabber. That's what's really nice about like cured or cold cured rosins. It's just like ready to go, you know. So I would say if you're introducing it to like a new smoker, maybe Evro isn't the way to go, you know. Like you want to give them some cured stuff that's like ready to go and easy to work with. But for the Evro, like I would store that in a similar manner. But I would keep it, if you want to keep it for a long time, in the freezer as well. But if you want to cure it, then just let it be room temperature and just watch it cure. And like as it butters, I feel like you get different little subtle nuances as you're tasting it. Personally, like it's not like the terpene profile is completely different. Like it tastes like a different strain.
Hey, if you guys don't watch First Smoke of the Day, check them out. Love these guys' podcast. Really, really enjoy some of these episodes. Tricadelics, the Jolly Roger, the guy who invented Puffco. Man, dude, I saw East Los, or the Deep East. Man, there's some really cool ones. So check out First Smoke of the Day, guys. Thanks for watching.